Hey guys, welcome back to Cough Country. This is Steve with your cannabis news. I'm excited for you. We got some great stories today. We start off in Ohio, which just passed recreational cannabis, but there are a few things that make this one a little bit unique. We'll kind of dive into that. Then cannabis use during pregnancy is on the rise. Is that a good thing? Is that a bad thing? We'll tell you more about it on Cough Country News right now.
No sticks, no seeds, just news.
From the Cough Country News Desk, it's Steve with your cannabis news.
Hold on to your Buckeyes. The state that gave us the hot dog just became the 24th state in the nation to legalize recreational cannabis. Ohio, I'm obviously talking about Ohio. I don't know how I could have been more clear about that. Yes, Ohio, the birthplace of aviation, just passed by popular vote on November 7th, issue number 2 on the ballot, which also included abortion rights, by the way, finally toppling marijuana prohibition in the state. In allowing for 2.5 ounces of possession, 6 plants at home, and a regular, pretty normal 10% tax rate, Ohio is following in their neighbor Michigan's footsteps by just keeping things simple, not making taxes too high. But this does come at an interesting time. The DEA is mulling over a schedule change for cannabis. The Safer Banking Act has more support in Congress than it ever has before. A recent poll said 70% of U.S. citizens support legal cannabis, all while a conservative minority holds it back. But there is a saying, as goes Ohio, so goes the nation. It means that whatever Ohio says has a history of being right on the money with how the nation as a whole is feeling. And in Ohio, despite most representatives actively encouraging their people not to support cannabis, a bunch of grassroots citizens got together, gathered a whole bunch of signatures, then they gathered more signatures, and then they gathered more signatures. Then the government went, I think you need more signatures. So they got more signatures. These people put it through Congress themselves. They went around their politicians and voted it into legality themselves. But now that very ball is passed into those same politicians' courts. The people have legalized it, but it's up to them to work out how it's actually going to go, which includes changing and amending the bill. But be careful, guys. You stray too far from the heart of it, and you're going to have some pretty pissed off voters on your hands. As Andrew Friedman summed up nicely, the executive director of the Coalition for Cannabis Policy said, a conservative and politically influential state such as Ohio, legalizing marijuana should be the straw that breaks the proverbial camel's back in terms of bringing federal regulation to cannabis. I honestly think it'll have massive reverberating effects on what Congress has to do about this. Prohibition is no longer the law of the land, even though it remains on the books. Now, in other news, a lot of people are using cannabis in place of prescription medications. But is it safe to take while you're pregnant? Pregnancy is an exciting and scary time for expecting parents. That little baby is making a lot of changes in mommy's life, but that bun in the oven is also making a lot of changes in mommy's body, too. Pregnant women commonly report symptoms like nausea, pain, depression, and as long as people have been having babies, women have been finding ways to manage their symptoms. And now that cannabis is as mainstream and as accepted as it is, there are more and more reports that people are turning to cannabis as a safer alternative to prescription pain medication. But is it safer? One study said that 7% of women use cannabis for things like nausea, but that number could be as high as 22%. So what's the big deal? Can you use cannabis when you're pregnant or not? Well, the short answer is we're not 100% sure. But it's looking like it might not be a great idea. Of course, any doctor worth their salt is going to tell you smoking isn't good for you, let alone the baby. But they are finding that even ingesting cannabis is going to have some effect on the fetus. Apparently, THC and over 100 other cannabinoids do have an effect. They pass through the placental wall and interact with the developing brain and endocannabinoid system. So what are the effects? Well, apparently, it's not a whole lot. In fact, studies back in the 90s said that there were no effect at all. But these days, cannabis is a bit stronger and we use it a bit more, so they are noticing a few things. There is a potential tie to low birth weight, which is a strong predictor of health long-term for the baby. The circumference of the head can be a little bit smaller at birth, and children are showing a higher trend toward emotional problems like ADHD as they grow. So, all in all, while cannabis does have an effect on the baby and doctors are not recommending that you use it to manage your symptoms, it looks like there are worse things out there. So, of course, if you're pregnant, be informed, talk to your doctor, and decide what is best for you. Now, so guys, thanks so much for joining us on Cough Country News. Guys, we need subscribers, so hit that subscribe button, give us a like, give us a share, put us out there, bring us to a friend, and tune in next time to Cough Country News, where it's always no sticks, no seeds, just news. Thanks so much, guys. Love you.